Imagine in some scenario you need to modularize your code or split your code into different pieces, for example. You can do that in Python by using something called modules in Python. So for this example, let's create two functions. So let's define a new function called greeting. And this function does not take any arguments, and we are going to make it print out hello world. So print hello world. So we are going to do that. So this is the first function, and we are going to create another function. So this is going to be like this is going to take two inputs and prints out the total value of those two inputs. So for example, we can have the function name as operation, and it takes two arguments, so x comma y, for example. And what it does is it prints x plus y. So can say something like the sum equals and x plus y, for example. So if you do something like this, this function will run. When you call this function, this will run and prints out x plus y, and this will just print out hello world. So imagine if I want to use this function in a different file. So usually people will copy this function and paste it to the new one, but in Python you have this functionality called modules. So this file I have named it as summod.py. That's the file name. You can see over here sum_mod.py. File name doesn't matter. You can name it whatever you want. So I'm going to make this as like this accessible to another Python file or another Python script. So I have this I'm just going to create a new file over here, and inside Python I'm just going to name it as 2.py, for example. So I have this 2.py file over here, so I just navigate to that. So I need to access, I'm going to minimize the tab right now. So I need to access those two functions over here. So what I can do is I can use the functionality of import. So import, and I can use the file name because it's inside the same folder or same directory. So you can see inside this Python directory I have this summod.py and this 2.py. Rest in them, just there's something from my previous work. So I'm just going to import the summod. So this is a file, so I'm just going to type the name of the file. And now if I need to access the contents of this file, I can simply do summod dot, and we have these two functions right now over here. So if I do something like summod dot greeting, for example, it's going to print out the greeting. So let me save this file. So you can see, like if I open up the summod file, you can see the greeting is like it just print out hello world. So here in this file I haven't defined the greeting, just like I'm just using that greeting from this file with puff import. So if I access this with my terminal, and if I run the file name python followed by 2.py, I'm getting an error over here. So it does not have attribute. It's because I haven't saved this file. So this is like a non-saved file right now. So let me save that. Let me open up my terminal, and if I run this again, you can see python 2.py, it's printing hello world. So the 2.py file is having this just this argument like summod.greeting. So summod is like this file. So if I open that, you can see we have two functions called greeting and operation. Similarly, if I need to perform an addition of something, here I can use if I go down some lines, and if I use, instead of this greeting, I'm just going to delete that. I'm just going to use some mode dot. Some mode is actually the file, so whatever you have imported over here, that's this. And you can specify the file operation or the function. So some more dot operation. So operation is the function we have specified to perform an addition over here in this example. And I can specify two values. So for example 2, and I'm going to specify the next one as 3 over here. So if I run this in my Python, like in my terminal, you can see we have the sum is 5 over here. So if you cannot see that, let me increase the font size a little bit. So you can see we have the sum is 5. So we don't have any other functions running over here. So this is source from this summode.py. If I open that, you can see we have this operation. Similarly, you can make it do some stuff like this. So if I want to define a function, so like I'm just going to name the function as greet, and it's going to take a parameter name, for example. And what this does is this is going to print out the name with hello. So print hello, and can specify the name over here. And let me save this file, and if I go here, this we have this import statement, and instead of this I can replace this with some underscore mode, that's a file name, dot greet function. So that's the new function which we have defined, and inside this I pass an argument, so something like Mike, for example. And if I run this inside my terminal, you can see hello Mike over here. So if I replace this string with 1 2 3 4 5, for example, and if I run the program again, you can see hello 1 2 3 4 5. So that's how you use modules in Python. So sometimes when we get lazy, we don't want to write the full of the file, so you can use something like import sum mode as sm, for example. So here, instead of writing the full sum mode, we can do an sm over here. And if we save the file, and if I open up my terminal and run the program again, you can still see we have the same output. So if the library or the program or the file which you are importing is too long, you can use something called aliasing. So this is, we are like setting a new name for this so that we can access it easily over here. So that's one functionality. Similarly, we can like use import in a different manner. So you can specify, since this is in same directory, I can use like from some mode, I import a specific function. So I can use import greet, and here I don't need to use sm greet. So if I run inside my terminal, you can see we have the same output again. So we don't need like some mode or sm dot greet. We can just type the function and it will run. So these are like the ways you can use modules in Python. So similar to this, there are like built-in libraries or built-in modules which you can import and use in Python. That we will see in a later video. So for this one, I'm going to end this over here. So I hope this one was helpful. I hope you all have a wonderful day.